A number of people messaged me asking me how I make my multitrack videos, so I decided to make this video demonstrating how I do this. I'll start the video by showing the final product, and then I'll show all the steps I took to get there. My first step is laying down a reference track, which you see right here in this GarageBand file. The whole key to syncing the parts together lies in this track. The first thing you will hear is a count off to a clap, which I'll play for you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, clap. That clap is your key to syncing all the videos together. Every time I record a separate video, I clap at that point, and as you see, the distance is always the same to the next segment. When I put them in Final Cut Pro, all I have to do is sync the claps together in the videos, and everything else falls into place. The next thing you're going to hear in my reference track over here is a counting of subdivisions. Not just the beats, not just the numbers, but all the subdivisions between there. And this is what helps to control my rubato passages when I get faster and slower. So I'm going to have you listen to this track, and all you're going to hear is subdivisions. And there's one point where I go into swing, and I use triplets for the subdivisions. This also lets me know when to cut off, when to come back in, and all the inside out of the tempo. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and triplet, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and off. Almost sounds like the Wheel of Fortune wheel slowing down by the end. Over here, when it says anda, that is where I breathe, and I have the lead come in on 1 as a post. And 1E. Okay, so now I'm going to play the subdivisions again, and I'm going to play the lead part on the alto saxophone, coming in on beat 2 of the second measure. And you're going to hear how this fits together. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and triplet, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and off. Now, if you are recording just a march or something that stays in the same tempo, you would just use a metronome. You wouldn't need all the subdivisions. But in the case of doing like a barbershop ballad, a jazz ballad, something that has rubatos, maybe a romantic era piece, you want to have those subdivisions in there to help control the change in tempo. Before we move on to Final Cut Pro,
I'm going to show you two sets of keys you'll be using when we sync these videos together. The right arrow key will fast forward you through all the tracks simultaneously. The left arrow key will move you backward in the tracks. Next is the angle bracket keys. The one that looks like the greater than sign is the right angle bracket. The left angle bracket looks like a less than sign, and they're next to the M. So what these do, will take one of your videos, not all of them, just one of them, and nudge it a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. So when you see me doing the editing and I have to align two videos so they're in sync with each other, you'll see that I press these keys and they move them in small increments. So once again, if you do angle bracket right, it's just going to nudge the one video over a little bit. If your video is running ahead of the other videos, you're going to do angle bracket right and pull it back. If your video is running behind the other videos, you do angle bracket left. Sometimes you might just need one press and it'll put it right in sync.
So now we're in Final Cut Pro. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to New. We're going to go to Library. We're going to call it Polka Dots and Moonbeams, because that's the name of the tune we will be putting together. And let's go to File, New, and we're going to make a new event, which is going to be in that library. We're going to call it Polka Dots and Moonbeams Demo, because we're demonstrating how to sync the videos together. All right, so now let's get the bass track in there. We just drag it from the desktop into here. And what we're going to do, we're going to reverse these. 1280 by 720 by, okay, so 720. And what that's going to do is allow us to use the whole entire horizontal box for the 4 videos. Next video we bring in there will be the baritone. Next video, let's get the lead in there, and let's get the tenor. So before we do anything else, I'm going to trim these down. You grab and trim. Grab and trim. Grab and trim. Let's put the cursor here. Now we're going to transform. We click that box, it turns blue. We're going to start with the bass. We're going to turn the bass to 79%. 79 return, and it becomes smaller. We're going to slide it all the way to the end. Let's go to the baritone. 79. The cool thing is, you do that, you can just click on the video, move it, and it takes care of that return thing. And let's go to lead. 79%. And then we're going to go to the tenor. 79%. This looks easy, but it's harder when you have more videos. It gets really tedious to get them really lined up. I do not know what causes that grid to show up. It would help an awful lot if it was there all the time. All right, so you can drag these with the mouse and place them where you want. So I'm going to go with this. So the next thing, we've got to get these synced. I am going to go with the bass track. This is going to be like our control factor in an experiment. Everything is compared off of this one track. And I'm going to do things in pairs and twos. I'm going to use the right arrow, and it's going to take us to the point where the bass claps. Okay? So now I'm going to do the bass and the lead. I do things in pairs. It's like tuning. If you tell a concert band, everybody play a concert B flat, listen to each other, and tune, you're going to get nowhere. But if you have a concert master and you have each person compare their pitch to the concert master, you're working in pairs, and now you have control over your tuning. Same thing with syncing this. So I am going to use my left angle bracket, and I am going to nudge this lead video over. So you see this down here moving, and you can see the movement up here. The angle bracket only moves the video that's highlighted. So the hands are together. Let's see how they sound together. We're going to use our ears now.
2, 3, 4, clap.
Pretty close. Let me nudge it to the right, see if it's even cleaner.
2, 3, 4, clap.
The clap sounds pretty clean, not the counts, but the clap's right on. Let's listen to the two together. I need to make sure that's entirely done rendering before I play it. Otherwise, you're going to hear all these breaks in the sound. When you see the check mark up there, it's done rendering. So we're going to try playing it now. Press the space bar. Okay, it is in sync. Sounds good. And I'm going to turn the bass down some. To do volume, you click on the speaker. And we're going to pull it back some. Let's hear how it sounds now. Better. You want the lead a little louder, so let's bring up his volume just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to disable the lead. We press V to disable it, and we're going to enable the baritone. Press V. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to slide this so it's in the ballpark. Now, we're going to nudge the baritone with the right angle bracket until he meets the bass. So let's go to the left angle bracket. And that looks pretty close right there, so let's listen now.
2, 3, 4, clap.
Okay, so the baritone's late. We're going to nudge him to the left. I'm going to do 2 nudges.
2, 3, 4, clap.
I'm going to do 1 more nudge.
2, 3, 4, clap.
Let's listen to the 2. Okay, it sounds synced. So we're going to disable the baritone with the V key. And let's go down to the tenor and enable that track. I'm going to slide this down. Slide it down. Let's get the cursor to the clap on the bass. And we're going to use the right angle bracket to nudge the tenor. Watch his hands, they're coming together. Okay, the tenor clapped in a different way than other people did. So let's take a listen now.
2, 3, 4, clap.
The clap sounds synced. So once it's done rendering, I'm going to listen to these 2. All right, and I'm going to turn down the tenor. I think it's a bit loud because tenor is higher than the melody, so it's going to cover the melody in a way it shouldn't. All right, so now we're ready to listen to all 4 parts. I'm going to enable the baritone and I'm going to enable the lead by pressing V.
2, 3, 4, clap.
And by having a solid reference track, you can change dynamics and have effects, but still stay in tempo and in sync with each other.